Hello, everyone. Welcome to the second day of the DSC Europe 2024 10th anniversary. I hope you had a fruitful day, marvelous day yesterday. I am Jelena, and I'll be here as tech support during the tutorial. I want to introduce you to our first tutor of the day, John Robert.
Thanks.
He is a senior machine learning engineer and founder of Don't Fear AI. And he will hold the How to Build AI Agents, a step-by-step guide to creating AI agents tutorial. Luckily as well, we at DSC Europe are absolutely delighted to join forces with DSC MENA, MENA, for a very special November edition of DSC MENA monthly webinar series by exclusively streaming one of our signature technical tutorials, this tutorial fostering global connections within the data science community. As we celebrate our 10th anniversary this year, we've been reflecting on the incredible journey of growth, innovation, and collaboration that defines the DSC community worldwide. To mark these milestones, we wanted to share something unique with our partners at DSC MENA, a part of our legacy of technical excellence. Enjoy. John, your stage.
Yeah, thanks so much. I hope you can hear me, right? Or can you hear me well? Okay.
I can hear you, yes.
Let me try to share my screen. Sometimes my PC could be a bit slow. I don't know if you can see my screen now. Trying to do that. Man, I don't know. My screen is okay. So please, can you see? Can you see my screen now?
It's loading still.
It's loading. Is it still loading or now better?
Okay, I can see it now.
Okay, good. Okay, good morning, everyone. So today we're going to be talking about AI agents. I like the tutorial to be a bit more interactive, so maybe I don't know. I would like to read sometimes the chat so that I can see just what people are talking about. So today we're going to talk about AI agents, and I'm going to take you through a step-by-step guide, and then I'm going to talk about what LLMs are, what RAGs are, what agents are, what are the difference between agents and LLM, and all these new things you hear a lot about AI and stuff like that. Let me try to put it in presentation mode. I hope it works. Yeah, so the founder of don'tfearai.com. So Don't Fear AI is more of a platform. Now it's a new platform I'm creating because I see that a lot of people are scared about AI taking their jobs, AI killing people in the world and things like that. So what the platform is about is just to tell you about the limitation of AI, the misconception about AI, the benefit of AI and regulations of AI and things like that. Just everything about AI, not just about the new models or some new tools from OpenAI and things like that, but more about everything in AI. So that's what the platform is about. I'm also a senior machine learning and data platform engineer. So what that means is that I develop infrastructures on how we deploy AI. So for instance, previously I worked at Mercedes where I worked in the self-driving car team where we built like the first version of self-driving car by Mercedes. And after that, I also worked in a company where we use AI for advertisement. And now I work in a company where they use AI in real estate. So they use AI for real estate price prediction and a couple of other things that we can do with AI. So that's a bit about me. Just want to know if, yeah. Okay, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Stop sharing. Okay. So let me try to share. a new screen. So can you see the right screen now, please? I'm trying to check the chat. Okay, yeah, sorry. Okay, now let's just have, I would like to also like to be a bit interactive, I said. So can anyone just maybe write in the chat what they know about AI agents, what they understand? What are AI agents? Anyone? I like it to be a bit more interactive. Please, can you just write what you know about AI agents? What have you heard of AI agents before? Anything you've heard of AI agents? Just looking at the chat to see if anyone have heard about it so that I know where to start from. I'm waiting for replies. I've not seen anyone write anything. Okay, we communicate with AI agents in human language. Okay. They automate tasks. Okay. Any other person? Okay, someone don't have any clue. Okay. Still waiting for few more, maybe two more. Okay, someone don't have any clue also. Okay. Not familiar with them. Okay, so two people have clue. Bots, chatbot is an AI agent. Okay, no experience with that. Okay, nice. So today I'm going to explain full details on what AI agents are and so that everyone can now have a good understanding of it. So it's no problem if you don't know anything about AI agents. Today is your first day of hearing about them. No worries. Today we're going to have enough time to talk about them and to actually write Python codes to implement them. So to understand what AI agent is, we need to first understand what LLMs are. At least I think almost everybody have used ChatGPT, if I'm not wrong. So almost everybody have used ChatGPT or used Cloud or something like that. So you know you have a question. What is the sun, right? That's an input. And then you have the LLM, maybe ChatGPT or whatever, Meta, whatever, anything you are using LLM, you have this LLM model, and then it gives you an output. So you have input, the LLM, and then you have an output. I think almost everybody understand that. So so now when we understand what LLMs are, then the next thing we need to think about is what are the problems with LLMs? So if you ask ChatGPT, what is the temperature of Berlin now? ChatGPT is going to give you the wrong answer because ChatGPT or any of these LLMs, they give you answers based on the trained data. So they don't have information about what is happening today. For instance, maybe who is the new president of the US or things like that. They don't have information of what is happening today. So that's the problem you have. Or for instance, if you work in a company and then your company have some data in their database, if you ask ChatGPT or anything, you don't have information about what happens in your company or something about you personally. It cannot give you information about that. And that's where RAG comes in. This is retrieval augmented generations. So what that is that you have ChatGPT that understands this pattern in languages, but does not have information about you. So what you do then is you give ChatGPT or any of these LLMs, you give them information about you, document about you. And that's where this RAG comes in. So who is the president of the United States? You have maybe a document or whatever, and then it can pick this information from that document and then give it to the LLM. So you have the question and then a retriever from a particular memory, and then you give it to the LLM, and then you can have this information here. So if you, in this case, let's say you want to act it about your CV, for instance, or some information in your company. So this information can be like in a PDF, and instead of having Wikipedia here, you can have a PDF here, and then this PDF will give that information to the LLM, and now you can get an answer. So what RAG are just LLMs with added information or added data. And this added data can be in form of PDF, CSV, whatever, databases and things like that. So that's different between normal LLMs and then RAG. So I think, so here is just the architecture of RAG. So you have like the queries are just the prompt you asked, and then you have like a vector database that contains and your data is going to be stored in your database, and then the prompt that you gave it, which is what you have here, the query, and then the context is what is in your database, which can be PDF, whatever. And then both of them will now be sent to an LLM to give you a response. So that's the architecture of RAGs. So here is just a bit more full detail of the architecture of how RAG works, but maybe that's not so important for today. So now we can see the difference between LLMs and RAG. So LLMs, all the information they have is just based on the training data, but RAGs, they have access to more information by giving them PDFs or things like that. So anytime you see chat with PDF or stuff like that, what they are doing is just giving them external data. So someone just asked a question. Will it be an issue if you pass tabular data or a text? It doesn't matter. So there are different vector database. So you can pass in tabular data. There's a way you can, depending on the type of database you have. So the thing, if they depend on how, and it depends, no matter the kind of structure of the data you have, it's not a problem. You can always add it to an LLM. But the problem you have now is, okay, you can add extra data, and then because of this, it kind of reduce hallucination. So hallucination is when an LLM gives you a wrong information. So for instance, you ask an LLM about you or about something in your company, the LLM doesn't have any information and just give you a random information. But since you can add external data, it can be tabular data, it can be data in a database, it can be PDFs, it can be CSV, videos, audios, depends, doesn't really matter. Because it has extra information about you, then it reduces the hallucination. Then also, normally people talk about, okay, why don't you fine-tune your LLM based on your data? The problem with fine-tuning is very complex and you need a lot of data. But RAG is like fine-tuning. I won't call it fine-tuning, but it's like adding extra data without the complexity of fine-tuning and all the memories you need and the whole time it takes for you to fine-tune an LLM. So now we have two different, an improvement from LLM. So the first time we just have LLM ChatGPT, no information about me, no information doesn't have access to new things. And now we have RAGs that I can give it data, my CSV, my database, my PDF, and every kind of data. And so it can improve the answers you get from your LLM. But so that's one improvement. But now there's what we now call AI agents. So AI agents is the advanced version of RAGs. So what AI agent does is, if I ask a question like, what is the temperature in Berlin? Let me see if I can exit and we can just ask ChatGPT so that we can see practical things. So if I just go to ChatGPT now and I ask, what is the temperature in Berlin? You see that if you check on Google and you check on ChatGPT, the answer is going to be different. So I think I can, okay, so this ChatGPT, and we can check on Google the temperature in Berlin, for instance. So we check on Google and just want to show you the difference so they can understand where agents comes in. So we check on Google temperature in Berlin. So if we check on Google temperature in Berlin, we can see today, we can see the answer, and then we also now check. So it says the temperature in Berlin is 9 degrees. And then if we check on ChatGPT, what is temperature in Berlin? So the problem you have with ChatGPT doesn't have access to the internet to give you information about what is happening. So if you, okay, I'm trying to just, I don't know why this thing is slow, but if so someone asked a question, what is the impact of RAG method to the response of LLMs? Does it delay the system's response too much? No. Actually, the RAGs don't really, they're a bit fast because once you have your data in your vector database and then you ask questions, it's really fast. You don't really know the difference. And for instance, you can see already on if you have subscription for ChatGPT, you can already add your own PDFs and stuff like that. So you see that it doesn't really increase the latency of it. So here we just have like temperature in Berlin. So I just want us to see the difference. So because ChatGPT does not have access to the internet, the temperature it tells you about Berlin is going to be different from what it is. So you see, now it's trying to, I'm asking for what is, you can see what it tried. I don't have real-time data access. So this is the problem that we have with RAGs, with LLMs, and with RAGs does not give you also like real-time data. It gives you, for you to put RAGs, you put RAGs based on the data you have in your PDF and stuff like that. But what you need now is data in your you need access to real-life data, real-time data, and that's where agents comes in. So what agents are agents. So if I ask an agent, what is the temperature in Berlin? An agent will create a plan. So what an agent will create, as you see here, is going to create a plan on task. So to check, okay, I need to go to the internet and go to Google. Then next step, search for the temperature in Berlin, and then get the result of the temperature in Berlin. So it will write the tags. You have the tags, and then it has access to tools. So tools can be something like a Python function, or access to Google, or access to database, or access to a web scraper or whatever. So the difference between RAGs and an AI agent is the fact that one, AI agent create tasks and AI agents have actions to tools. So once you get access to the tools, it can automatically go online, search for the temperature in Berlin, get the results, spin through the whole thing you have on Google, figure out what is the right answer, and then reflects that it gets the right answer before giving the response to the user. So that's the difference. So you have a plan. If you have a plan, and then you have access to tools, and then it can improve on the answer before giving the answer to the user. Does everyone understand the difference between LLMs now, RAGs, and AI agents? Please, I just want to get response from in the chat. Do everyone understand? So someone just write chat. GPT 4.0 actually can access internet if you choose to. Well, so I have tried GPT 4.0 with internet. It can, but it's still it's not also real time. So if you can try it. So I don't want to try now, but you can try. You can try it for something that just happened. So maybe there's a football match. I have an article I actually wrote on don'tfearai.com where we were comparing the results from ChatGPT search, which that's what you're talking about. So you have ChatGPT search, and then we have Google, and we compare the results. So on Google, you can just check what is the maybe yesterday Germany played against, I don't know, Bosnia, and you can ask for the score of the match, and you can see the difference on Google and the different on ChatGPT search. And you can see ChatGPT search is likely sometimes behind, and Google is always updated. So someone wrote, so ChatGPT with internet is now considered, I think it's an agent, but it's not also very real time. But yeah, I think it's an agent because if you also see, I think at the end of today's lesson, I will show you what is called computer use. So it's from Entropy. So it's use AI agent to actually control your system. So automatically it can take up your phone, your system, type whatever, go on Google, open Chrome, go on Google, and you can see it as it does it. So I'll try to show that in the video at the end. So good that we now understand the difference between LLMs, RAGs, and then AI agents. I think the next slide will just be, yeah. So this just shows what AI agents have access to. So AI agents have access to memory. So for instance, if I ask you, one of the practical part of today's lesson is going to be, we are going to create an AI agent that can help you book, plan a trip. So if you're going to plan a trip, you need a couple of information, and you need to keep this information in the memory. So that's why we have like memory, short-term and long-term memory. We have tools. So this agent have access to Google. It can search for something. It has access to calculator. It can calculate how much you need per day for your trip. It has access to calendar. It can also check what time. It has access to Google to check the weather and things like that. Then it can take action. So what I mean by taking action is it checks Google, check the weather at this time, and check the price of flight, and check this and check that, and to taking actions as it's doing all these things. And the good thing about it is also it creates plans. So it creates step-by-step, like step-by-step tasks on what it's going to do. So this is just the basic architecture for AI agent.
Sorry, John, can you go back to the presentation mode, full screen?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think I can go back now. I don't know. Yeah, so while it's going, I'm trying to see, I don't know why my screen is not responding, but okay, I'm trying to go back to the presentation mode, but it's quite not responding.
Slideshow button.
Yeah,
maybe.
but it's not responding to my slide.
It's not responding.
Yeah. Okay, I will just see what I can do to see if it's going to why it's not responding. Wow. Okay, while we are trying to go back to the slideshow, I'll just continue a bit more. So this is also an improved architecture for AI agents. And here you can see also that you can have multiple agents. So you have an agent that checks the vector search. You have agent B that does web search. You have another agent that can check your email and check your Slack. So you can have multiple agents, and then all these agents work together to solve your problem. So the main thing that makes AI agents better is the fact that they can solve problems, and they can work together. So you have different assistants, all of them work together to solve your problem. Yeah, so let's go a bit more. I don't know why my slides it's hanging. Maybe let me stop sharing and I will share again. Okay. I want to see what the problem is. Yeah, sometimes this is a problem with virtual presentation. Okay, so I think my problem is with my Chrome, because I can't, my slides are not, my Chrome is hanging, but I can do other things. Okay, I think what we can do is, because I want to show a bit more on AI agent before we go into the into the coding part of things, but maybe I can, while this all Chrome thing is giving us issues, I can just give you, I can show you a bit of the, because I can show you a bit of the of the code. Okay, yeah, maybe I can download the presentation. Yeah, that's a good idea, because I don't know what is happening here. I can just kill. Jesus. Okay. Let me just share the codes. We can go back to the presentation later. So I should ask AI agent. Okay. I'll just go to the code because we have some issues. I will explain a bit of everything in the code. So can you see my screen now? Yeah, can you see my screen now? Okay, so what I'm supposed to present before, or that is actually I couldn't present, is after the AI agent, I wanted to show you the different types of AI agents we have. There we have different frameworks. So we have the Microsoft AutoGen, which I'm still going to show you before the end of the presentation. So we have Microsoft AutoGen. We have LandGraph, which is a type of AI agent. We have Crew AI, and then we have OpenAI's Shrimp. So these are like the four major frameworks for AI agents that we have. Today we are going to go through the Crew AI. I think it's the best AI framework that we AI agent framework that we have. And in Crew AI, there are 5 major things you need to know about Crew AI. We need all these things are in my presentation. So I'm still trying to see if there is, okay, maybe I try to open Chrome again and see if I can open Chrome again, because I wanted to show a bit about so I'll see if I can open Chrome again. So we in Crew AI, we have 5 major things. So we have what we call the agents, and then we have the tasks, we have the process, and then we have the crew, and then we have the and the tools. So like I explained previously, in AI agents, you need to have we have tasks. So we can create some tasks, and then when we create tasks, we have agents that are going to perform those tasks. And then these agents need access to tools. So these tools are going to be something like Chrome, web browser, calculator, and things like that. And then we have, so that's the tools, and then we have the crew. So the crew is like a manager that tells each agent like what to do. Let me see if my Chrome is now working. Still not working. I don't know why. Okay. I'm just trying to see if I can, maybe I'm going to stop sharing for a second and then see if I can do something. I'll stop sharing for a second again and restart my Chrome and see.
Presentation is already sent. Wait, I will copy link.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe if you can, yeah, we can just help present a bit. Or maybe can you maybe help me present? Can you share your screen and share the slides, so you can just can you please just share the slide?
Do you want me to share a screen of
Yeah,
slides?
yeah, you can share the slide on your screen, because my problem is just the Chrome, not the code. So I can just go through it, and then for the code I will share my screen after.
Okay, just a second.
Yeah. why, what is happening with my phone today. Oof. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe we can go to slide 11, I think. Yeah. One
This
more,
one?
please. Yeah, one more.
This one.
Yeah, so here I just want to explain the difference between the RAG and AI agent. So the difference between RAGs and AI agents is the fact that RAGs only retrieve external data, but AI agents also execute tasks. And then also we have like AI RAGs does not have access to tools. You are going to see that in the coding section, but AI agents, they have access to tools. And then you also have the fact that we have AI agents create plans. I'll show you that later. So AI agents create plans, but RAGs, they don't create plans. They cannot reason. So they don't create plans. Then another thing is that AI agents, they take actions, but RAGs, they don't take actions. They only just read data from the tools and from the database. And then RAGs, they don't have access to memory, but AI agents, they have access to memory. I'm going to show you also that today. And then the other part of things is that before AI agents take actions, they actually observe the result of previous actions. So these are the reasons, the difference between RAGs and AI agents. Please, can you go to the next slide, please?
Just a second.
Okay, yeah, so there are different types of AI agents. Today, we're just going to focus on the simplest part, which is going to be the simple reflex agent. We have the simple reflex agent, we have the model-based agents, we have goal-based agents, we have utility-based agents, learning agents. So we have different types of agents. It just depends on how you build the agent that shows what type of agents you are building. But today, we're going to see a sample of a kind of agent that has goals, that have that use some LLM and things like that. We can see it at real time. So please, can you go to the next slide, please?
Of course.
Yeah, so this was what I was talking about earlier. So we have four major frameworks. We have the land graph, we have the AutoGen, which is from Microsoft, we have the Crew AI, and then we have the Stream. So the Stream is from OpenAI. So these are the four major frameworks for AI agent. Today, we are going to focus more on Crew AI because the one from OpenAI came out, I think, 1 month ago, and it's still in experimental state, so people don't use it often yet. Landgraph is good also, but it's a bit much difficult for beginners. The same with AutoGen. So AutoGen is also very good, but then the easiest one, and the one that is a lot of people use now, is still Crew AI, and that's the one we're going to use today in the practical section. Please, can we go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so in Crew AI, this is what I was trying to explain previously. In Crew AI, we have 5 major components of Crew AI. The first thing is, and we are going to see all of them today, we are going to experiment and actually work on each of the components today. So the first thing we have is the agents. So the agents are just something that does a task. So they are autonomous units. So most of the time, it's going to be the AI, but sometimes we tell humans to say yes or no. Just like if you are doing something on your computer and you want it to, and they ask you a question, yes or no, like, do you want it to perform this task? Do you want to delete this thing and things like that? So you can create AI agent that works with human, and human decide, delete this document, don't delete this document, create this new file, and things like that. We are going to see some of these things today. So that's what AI agents are. They just do tasks like what human does. We do tasks. Now, the tasks are just actions that need to be done. So for instance, today we are going to see a practical section on how we can book a flight, or how we can plan a trip to, for instance, Belgrade, in Serbia, where we had when the conference is holding. So for instance, you want to take a trip from Berlin to Serbia. So you're going to see the AI agent is going to tell you, create different tasks. Like for instance, what is the temperature in Serbia? what is the price of the flight, where do you need to visit in Serbia. So you create different tags, and then it's going to use tools, which is the next component. Use tools like Google search. Is going to use tools like calculator to calculate the prices of things, and then the process is just to decide how these agents work together. So imagine you have a group of people. So when you think about AI agent, just imagine a team of people. So you have different people that are doing different things, and then you have a manager that just tell them, okay, this person is not supposed to do this task, this person is supposed to do this task, this person is supposed to do this task. So the process is just to decide how these tasks are going to be done. Are they going to be done one after the other sequentially, or are they going to be done by then, or you have a manager that just tell them, do this at this time, then the next person does this and things like that. So that's what the process is for. And then the last part is the crew. So the crew is just that if you have a team of people, and then the crew is now the team. So it's got a team of agents, and that's what the crew is all about. Please, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so here, now we're going a bit into the code to understand how each of these components work. So one of the components I talked about is the agent. So here it's just a code on what are the attributes of the agent. So for instance, if we have a customer care problem, for instance, and we want to have agent that does a customer support. So this is going to be kind of how you write the code. So you have this agent you're going to import from Crew AI, and then the role of the agent is the customer support, but you can have multiple agents. Maybe another agent is just calling the customer, another agent is writing down the complaints of the customer and things like that. But one of the agents you can have is like customer support. Then you give it the goal. What is the goal of this customer support? So when you think about AI agent, just think about a team in a company. So each person is going to do something different, and that's what each agent is going to do. And then you tell each agent, what is your responsibility? So here you can see that the responsibility of this, or the goal of this customer support, is to handle customer inquiries and problems. So that's the goal. So that's the goal of the agent. And then you need to give it a bit of context to what it's supposed to do. So for instance, you tell it you are a customer support specialist for a chain of restaurants. So it knows that, okay, what I'm going to focus on is just based on a restaurant. And then you tell it that what it's supposed to do, then the customer support and inputting feedback from customers. So this is how you describe what an agent is. You give it the role, you give it the goal, and you tell it a bit story about it. I'm going to show you a bit more on during the presentation. Please, can you go to the next slide, please? So the next slide is now the agent. So at the beginning, we have said that we have this agent. The next thing is what is the task for the agent? So for instance, you have two agents. One agent is the customer support. The other agent is the data analyst agent. So it gets all the information from the customer. So the customer agent gets all the information from the customer. The data science agent analyzes the data that the customer support gets from it. So here you can see the description of the task is gather data from customers' interaction. So you have two agents here. One agent is the customer support agent. The second agent is the data science agent. So customer support agent interact with customers, get the data from the customers, and then the data science agent will take the gathered data from the customers, and then it will analyze it. So the description is, okay, gather all the data from the customer support agent, then the expected output is supposed to be organize this data and do the pre-processing of the data like a normal data scientist is going to do. So we have the agent already, two agents, customer support agent and data science agent, and then we have the tasks. Each of them have different tasks. So the task for the data science agent is to do data science or do data analysis based on the information collected from the data from the customer support agent. Please, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so for the tools, we have three different types of tools. So Crew AI has a lot of tools. You can check on Pro AI tools online, you see access to these tools. So you have like the GitHub search tool, YouTube channel tool. It can do a lot of things. We also have some tools that are on LangChain. So we have like this some tools on like for instance the terminal. You have also some tools already that can help you like compare two different documents. You can also define your tools by writing like a Python code during the practical section. We're going to see an example of actually custom tools that we write to do some things. Can you go to the next slide, please? So we have talked about the agents. So the agents are the one doing the tasks. We have talked about the tasks the agent wants to do. Now we have talked about so now we are talking about the process. So we have talked about the tools. The tools is what the agent is going to use to perform the tasks. So, and then now we're talking about the process. So the process is just how these agents are going to like work together to perform this task. So the customer care agent is going to first get information, and then the data science agent is going to like analyze the data that the customer care agent gets. And then, but then the customer care agent needs to use a particular tool to get information. For instance, would have access to telephone or things like that, and then get information, store it in the database. Then the data science agent get the information from the database. Now, the process is just to say, okay, first get information, customer care agent. Second, the data science agent get information from the database, and then things like that. So there are different ways. You can just do it sequentially, or you have like hierarchy where you have like a manager agent that distribute the tasks to different agents, or you also can plan it yourself. So you can create a particular process or workflow on how these agents should interact together. So that's where we have the process. Please, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so now we have the agents, we have the tasks, we have the tools the agents are going to use, we have the process in which the agents are going to work together, and then the last part is just for you to like for everything to work. So you have the agent already, you have the data science agent, you have the customer support agent. Then the task is going to be like the customer support tasks, and then the data collection tasks will be done by the data science agent. And then we know that they're going to be done sequentially. And the output is just like fully, so that you can fully see the output of it. Can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, so I just want to talk a little bit about different use cases. So here you can see the use case. There are a lot of use cases. You can just, since agents are like departments in a company, so you can create multiple agents that does anything you want. And so some of the use cases is like, for instance, you want an agent that will help you check and draft email. Today, we are going to see an agent that can help you do your travel plan. And we also can use agent to check like the stock market. So to go online, get the information about maybe stocks of Apple, or maybe stock of Bitcoin, the price of Bitcoin and things like that, analyze it and things, and then you can get a result. Yeah, so maybe next slide, please. Yeah, so this is just an example of like what tasks are, and then agents. So you have research tasks, you have like what the agent that solve the problem of research tasks. We have like the strategy tasks and agent that solve the strategy tasks, and then we have also creation tasks, that means to create the content, and then you have like the agent that does that. Please go to the next slide, please. Yeah, so today we are going to talk about this travel planner, and I just want us to have a good understanding of what the problem is. So previously we checked online and we checked on OpenAI, on ChatGPT for the temperature in Berlin or for the temperature in Serbia, and most of the time we don't get the right temperature. So imagine you want to travel from Berlin to Serbia. If you want to travel, you need to plan, right? So for instance, you want to know what is the temperature in the place I'm going to, what is happening where I'm going to. So that's what this the first agent is. So the first agent is to check details, analyze things about the destination where we are going to. Then so for instance, we're going to Serbia, so you have another agent that check things about what is happening, like for instance, where to go, the city guide, tourist centers and things like that. So you have another agent that helps you analyze things about the city you want to go. And then the third agent is just to give you itinerary of what you need to do every day. So you're going there for like 5 days trip. And then in this 5 days trip, it tells you what you need to do every day. It gives you a breakdown of the price of like Airbnb and things like that, and then plan the whole details for you. So if you try to do this with ChatGPT, it's a bit complex because you cannot just tell ChatGPT, I am going to Berlin for my holidays. Can you tell me the price of the apartment there? Can you tell me the temperature, the kind of clothes I need to wear on that day? So you cannot do this if you just use LLMs, but agents will break down this into tasks, and then you can see details about it. Can you go to the next slide, please? I guess it's the coding time. Yeah. So I'll go into the coding now. I'll share my screen. You can stop sharing screens, and we can stop sharing the screen. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. But I just want to ask, a question. Do we understand the difference between, before we go into the coding, I just want us to have a good idea of the difference between LLMs, RAGs, and AI agents. And also, I just want us to understand, if we get the understanding of what is important for AI agent. Please, can I get some comments in the chats before I can, at least so that when I share my screen, we can go into the coding. Do anyone have any question? Yeah, okay, all clear. So I want to make sure that before you start today, most people don't understand. So I want to make sure that at least before we get into the coding, we all understand the difference. So let's make that clear. So, okay, 3-4 people, very good example. Okay, so most people understand the difference now. Okay, so let's go into the coding. Now I hope I can share my screen. I wish, so we don't have, how many minutes do we have? Then we have only about 40 minutes left. So I'll push the code in, I wanted us to code together, but I don't know if we're going to have enough time to do the coding together. But what we can do is that I'll explain every part of the code, and then I will run the code again so that you see that it works. And then we can just, then I can try to run it again and we see if it works. Okay, so as I explained to you before, there are 5 components in Crew AI. So we have the agents, we have the tasks, we have the tool, we have the process, and then we have the crew. So those are the 5 components. So let's start from what the tasks. So in the tasks,
sorry, John. Could you send the link to the code after the
I've not
presentation?
pushed the code. Let me see if I can just push the code. Let me see. Okay. Let me just quickly. Let me see if I can.
You don't need to do that now. We can. You can do it after the presentation.
Yeah.
And the link will be available. Okay.
The link will be available after the presentation. So the link is going to be available after the presentation. I'll make sure I do that. Okay. So I'm sorry that I cannot write the code directly now because I don't know, my computer is just messing up, but I'll explain every part of the code from the beginning to the end so that when you see the link on GitHub, then it's easy to understand. And I'll also make sure everyone is understanding. So if you don't understand, please just write it on the chat so that I can see what you don't understand and we can go through it. So as I explained before, we want to travel for vacation. And for us to travel for vacation, we have three major tasks. So first task is we need to know details about where we want to travel to. The second task is we need to know what we want to do, city guide about where we are traveling to for vacation. And the third task is we need an itinerary of what is going to happen when we travel. So these are the three tasks we have. So we have also three agents. Now, the tax and the agent don't have to be the same number. Sometimes an agent can do multiple tasks. So for instance, an agent can do multiple tasks, but here we just mapped it one-to-one, but you don't have to always do it like that. So we have three agents. One is the destination agent that will analyze details of what is happening in where we want to go. And then the second is the city guide agent that's going to, I'll show you the code. I just want us to first have a good overview of what is happening. So we have the city guide agent, and then we have also like the third one, which is just to show you, create the plan for you. So we have those three agents. We have the tax already, we have the agents. Then the next thing we need is the tools. So the tools is, for instance, the destination agents, we want to go for an holiday in Berlin, for instance. So if you're going to Berlin for an holiday, you need to browse the internet. You need to browse the internet to check what weather do we have in Berlin, what are the things that you can do when you get to Berlin, and things like that. You need the calculator tax. So the calculator tool is just to calculate the price. So for instance, how much does it cost for an Airbnb? How much does it cost for museums and things like that? So you need to be able to add all these things together. And then the search tool. So here you can, here I'm going to send the code. So here we also have like kind of an agent here, but it's just a web scraper. So it's going to scrape the web and then check details about what is in the web. So mostly for things like the weather condition and things like that. So that's what this is going to do. The calculator is just to do calculation. So just basic calculation to do calculation. And then the search is to actually search the internet. So the first thing is you need access to the browser. And then after the access to the browser, you then need to be able to search the internet. So that's why you have it to do like Google search. This browsing is you have access to the browser and then you can search. So two different tools, a tool for the browser and a tool to search. And the other tool is for calculator tool. So now we have the tool, we have the agent, the tool, and the tax. So let's go a bit more. Let's go into the tax now. So in the tax, you need to explain, you need to explain in details what you want each tax to do. So this tax is supposed to analyze details about the city you are going to. So you have a trip, specify the weather condition, the season, the travel cost, and then the city and things like that, the culture in the city, and details of the destination where you're traveling to. So that's what this tax is supposed to be all about. And the tax for the city guide is now supposed to tell you details about, okay, I'm a local expert in this particular city, and I need to get in-depth details of where I can travel to, the local customs, special events, sports restaurants, and things like that, landmarks, and a lot of things like that, the cost and things like that. So you need to explain in details what each tax is going to be about. So here I just explained in details what each tax is going to be about. And then the last tax is now the itinerary tax. So now you already have details about the destination you are going to. You already have what you want to do, where you're going to. Then the next thing is that, okay, what do I do every day? So for instance, here we just talked about it just gives you details about, okay, I'm going for a 7 days travel and things like that. But we can also specify the date range. We are going to see an example of that. But here, just to give you details of what is going to happen, where we want to go, like give me an itinerary of what it's going to do. So now, just want to know, do we understand the do we understand the tax now? I just want to show everyone understand. Yeah, I'm going to put the code to GitHub immediately after the program. Our agent process which tool to use. Okay, I'm going to show you that. So someone asked a question on how agent process each tool to use. Okay, I'm going to show you that now. So, but does everyone understand the tax now? So we have 3 tags, and we have details of what the tax is supposed to be. Okay, so we have 3 tags. I'm going to explain now about what someone asked, how the agent process the tax. Yeah, so you're going to see how process the tools. Yeah. So now let's go to the agent just to answer the question. So in the agent, each agent you have in the code, you explain also the role of the agent. So the first agent is a travel destination analyst, and then you tell it the goal. So here you tell it what the goal is. So the goal is to analyze and select travel destination, and then you give it the details about what it's supposed to be. Then you also give it the backstory. Is just like if you have an experienced person, you want the agent to be an experienced travel agent. So that's where you're going to explain it. So you're an expert travel agent with 15 years experience and things like that. You understand this and that. So the question you ask is here. So you know that this destination analyst agent, it needs access to tools like the browser, which is the tool we have coded in before, and then the calculator, which is it needs to calculate the price of things, and then the search, it needs to search on the internet. So the question on how agents get access to tool, when you create an agent, you need to also give it access to the tool. So that's what you do. It's here. You give agent access to tools. So this is for the destination analyst agent. And then if you go to the city guide agent, you do the same thing where you actually give it a role. So you are a local and you are expert in this particular thing, and then you give it the goal, what it's supposed to do. So the goal, is supposed to provide comprehensive inside knowledge about the city, what the city is going to be about, the tourist attraction in the city, and then you also give it a backstory, which is just like explain to the agent who it's supposed to be like, and then you also give the agent details to access to tools. So we have that, and then the same thing we do for the itinerary planner. So the same thing. So you're a senior itinerary specialist. You give it the goal, and then you give it the backstory. So one thing you should always know, like for every agent, an agent is supposed to have a role. It's supposed to have the goal, and it's also supposed to have like backstory. Backstory is just like responsibility of the agent. And then also tools. The tool is just that what access does what tool does the agent have access to? So this is like the agents, the details about agent, details about tools, and then the tax. I just want to have an idea. Does everyone understand that before we start running the code? I just want to understand if everyone understand what it takes to have the tax, what it takes to have the agent, and how to give access to the tools. So please, can you at least let me see maybe 10 comments to see if you understand the difference between how to create an agent, how to create a tax, and how to create tools. Please, can I see like comments so that I know everyone have understand it. So if you have question, maybe you can ask, because I want to, before we like start running the code and explaining what is happening in the code, I just want everyone to understand how to create agents, how to create tags, and how to create tools, and how to give access to the agent. So the agent has to give agent access to tools. So please, can you show the tags again? Okay. So this is the tags. We have the tags we have 3 tags. So one of the tags is for the destination analyst, and then we have again the city guide tags. That is just to take you through the tags, and then you have also the create itinerary tags. So these are the tags. Anyone have more questions? Before we run the code, because when we run the code, I want us to have an idea of what is running behind the scenes so that we understand what the code is going to be about. I actually wanted us to code it really want to write the code from the scratch, but I'm not sure we have the time, and then also we have just about 30 minutes more. So I want us to see the output. I want us to understand where the output is coming from and things like that. So that's why I'm not writing the code from the scratch, but it's not a problem of writing the code from scratch. I'm going to also push the code to GitHub. But please, can we have more comments just to have an idea if everyone is following? Because only 2 people commented already. Please, can we have more comments? I would like to have like maybe 5 to 6 comments just to know if we all understand the difference between the tags, the agents, and the tools. These are the 3 things I've explained now. Before we go into like the process and the crew, if you understand these 3 things, then understanding the crew is no problem. Okay. Okay, good. So now I'll go to the main code. So I already explained what the tags are. We already understand the tools. So the agent in the agent code, you can already give access to tools in the agent code. And then in the tags, we already have the tags. The process is nothing that is you can create a complex process where you decide which agent does these tags and things like that. But in our case, we just want to make it sequential. So we first solve the problem of the destination tags. We solve the problem of the city guide tags. And then we solve the problem of the itinerary tag. So here is I'm just importing what we have done before. So these are the agents that we created before. And then these are the tags that we created before. And the crew is just a function in Crew AI that you put all the tags, all the agents, all the tags, and the process. And then this crew is just like the manager that just runs everything. So that's just, it's not something complex. The most important thing is have your agent have access to the tool, have your tags, and here the crew, you just create your crew. And the process here, we're just doing sequential things. And so no, we don't have any problem. So the code I'm going to run is going to be this, the code here. So just this code here. And then here I'm just, you see, so here is just the entry point of the code, and I'll type everything. So I'm going to run this Python main. So this is the main file. And in the main file, it's running the code now. So you have this where we have welcome to the travel planner crew. And then it's asking you from where will you be traveling from. So since the conference is going to be in Serbia, let me just say I'm traveling from Berlin. So I'm traveling from Berlin. Since it's an LLM can understand where the country is supposed to be and things like that. So, but sometimes you can just put Berlin, Germany, for instance, but LLMs can also understand details of things like that. So we can tell it where we are traveling from. So we are traveling from Berlin, Germany. And then the next question is that what are the city options you are interested in visiting? So since the conference is in Serbia, I want to visit Belgrade in Serbia, right? So I can just put this. I hope I spell it well. Yeah. And then the next question is, what is the time range that I want to travel to, like Serbia? So today is actually November 18th, right? November 19th. So I can just give it like I'm traveling tomorrow, which is November 19th. And I will be today, November 19th, and I will be back after the conference. So I'm going for the conference, but yeah, and I'll be back on the 23rd of the conference after the conference, or let's say 24th, for instance. So what are my hobbies? Since we are doing like we are going for a vacation or something like that, so I can just give it like I am going for like adventures. So everything you just see here, let me just explain the code again to you. Everything you see here is the first thing is the this code you see here, get the origin of where you are. The second code is you can give it multiple cities, get the cities you would like to visit, for instance, and then you can give it the date range. And your interest is just for you to help to understand what the trip is going to be about. So this is all you need from the user. So the user gives you all this information. So this information, now we're going to pass this information to this main function, and this is the main function. So the main function takes the origin where you are, the cities you want to visit, your interest, and then the date range. And this is going to be important for the tags. So you see destination tags requires the origin where you are, the city where you are. I'm going to show you the details again, the city where you're going to, the interest, and the date range. The city tags only needs information about the city where you're going to. It doesn't need information about the where you're coming from. It's only where you're going to, because it wants to create like a city guide. And then the itinerary is also itinerary of where you're going to. So in each of these functions, you can see you give it the agents and then the details, the tags. So for the tags, you just give it the agent and then the details of where you want to go. So I'll run it now and then we can see what happens. So here is oh, okay, good. So I'm getting an API error, and I'll show you what the API error is. So for you to run, you can run, I want to show us how we can run on either using OpenAI or we can also use a free LLM like Llama or things like that. The problem you have with using free LLM is that sometimes it can slow your computer down. I think that's the problem with my computer, because before the meeting, I was trying to run with one of these LLMs, and I think it has consumed a bit of my memory and I need to restart my computer. But just be careful, because if you do that, it sometimes consumes a lot of your memory and can really slow down your computer. But at the beginning, let's just use OpenAI, which is, I have now the OpenAI key. Yeah, so let's use OpenAI for now. Let me check if I have it, if I don't have this anywhere. Okay. Okay, I've commented it out here. So now I'm going to run it again so you can see. And we go, since I'm running it again, I'll just type in everything again. So I'm going from Berlin. I'm going to Belgrade. And then we are going today. Today is 19th. And we're going to come back on the 22nd. And then we are going for adventure. Okay. So now you have the details. So here is where agents are, then why agents are good. So it looks at it, it says, this is how it works now. So do I need, it thinks. So that's why agents are better than normal LLM or RAGs. So it thinks. So these are the thought process. Do I need to use a tool? So this now, this is the destination analyst agent. It thinks, do I need to use a tool? Yes, I need to use a tool. So the tool is supposed to search the internet, and already you can see that we gave the destination analyst tool, we gave it access to internet, access to browser. So it can then search the internet. And what is it searching on the internet? It's searching for flight costs from Berlin to Serbia on these days and returning on these days. So imagine normally you need to take this action yourself. You need to go to the internet, you need to search on the internet for this kind of thing, because you want to go from Berlin to Serbia and on these days and things like that. So automatically it helps you to do that. So once it did that, you see it now. So it's telling you what it did. So I just searched on the internet using the internet tools for the flights for this and this. So is doing that. So after it has done that, it then checks if the response is good. So it checks if the response is good. So here normally I didn't do that now, but I can decide to say, okay, the response, this is good already, and then it goes to the next information. So, but now I automate everything to make sure that it can do everything without my feedback. But sometimes you need to do it with feedback. Can you see my screen or is too small? I think, is it too small? Please, can I get some feedback so that I can increase the output? It's not fine. Okay. No, we can't see. Okay, let me see. Can I increase the
It's all good. It's all good.
okay, it's all good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So here so the first thing was to search for the flight. Then the second thing is to okay, again, it thinks about it. Do I need a tool? Yes, I need a tool. I need to search for I need to search the internet, and here it checks for the weather condition. So it search for the weather condition for this time. So what is the weather condition for this travel date? And it checks again, then next thing again. So normally if you want to book, if you want to have go for a vacation, you need to do this yourself. You need to first search for the flight, you need to search for the weather condition. Then now it's thinking, okay, I've searched for the flight, I've searched for the weather condition. Then now it's using the next agent. So we know so this agent is done, the destination agent just search for the flight and the weather condition. Then the next task is this city guide. So city guide needs to know, okay, what am I going to do when I get to Serbia? And that is this next one. So it's saying, so you can see it's delegating the work to this new agent, and we already have details about what this agent's supposed to do. It's a travel guide and things like that. So it explains everything. I'm traveling. You have a client. You can see, so provided information about this period, this for a client who is interested in traveling from Berlin to this as part of the analysis. So you see the agent can think by itself already. Yeah. So the agent can think by itself already. And now you can see already it's using a new tool. It's using a new agent. So you can see the crew agent thing. And then it's searching for what are the upcoming events. Upcoming events in Belgrade on this day to this day. So you can see search on the internet, and then you can so here it said, I'm sorry, so it cannot have access to some platforms like this, like maybe Eventbrite to check, or but it could check maybe some things on the newspaper and things like that, because it's just searching online, right? So sometimes what you can see here is that sometimes you get a search online, did not get an information, and it has a loop where it keeps searching till it get the right answer. So here, it searched at the first time, it couldn't get anything, so it gets something wrong. And then again, it search again another time. It changes the information, search for tourist attraction. So at the beginning, it just search for trying to search for things in Eventbrite. It did not get a good result. This is also why agents are very good, because agents, they also think. So it searched the internet first time, did not get a good result. Then again, it's going to search the internet again second time. And now it changes the search. So now it's searching for top attraction in Belgrade. So you see, it changes, if it can go through the loop, and it said to understand the major tourist attraction in Belgrade. So you see now it's improving based on the search. Then it does that several times. It creates, it tries to check all the details it can get from the city. So now it gets some few details about historical sites in Belgrade and things like that. So here you already have the output. So based on the analysis, a trip to Belgrade on this, excellent choice. it's now searching for like the costs of the cost of flying from Berlin. And then so it tells you when you get to Belgrade. And is this right that you have all this? So it says you have like the fortress, then it search and gets like, I don't know how to pronounce this name, but are these important tourist attraction in Belgrade? So, okay. Yeah, somebody said yes. So it shows that it's have access to the internet and can get information. So here it already gets a lot of information. So someone typed something. Does agent have some logic of choosing which tool to use next? Yes, exactly. So here is that's where this process comes in. So if you have sequential process, so it just picks first is I'm searching for destination, distance to destination, and things like that. Second is the city guide. Third is the itinerary. So that's sequential, but you can also create different process. So the question you asked about the logic is where the process comes in. So you can create out the process, but here I'm just using sequential. So first, check the destination, whether in the destination, whether the destination and things like that. Next is just checking the city guide, which is so the city guide agent is the one that gave us details about the city, like all these kind of things and information about the city. And then so it gives like full details about it. And then the next one also, so now we are now in the third agent. So the third agent is now to check the itinerary. So what are the local costs? Oh, okay, this is still the second agent, still trying to check information about the city and stuff like that. So it goes through, so you can see it goes online and check this particular article to read this article about the city. How much time? Oh, we have only 10 minutes more. I want us to ask questions. So again, the agent just keep going, checking another information about the city, keep checking information about the city and stuff like that. And then you see that's finished that. And then we have the other agent, the third agent that checked like itinerary about the city. And so what you just see is that agent keeps going, doing a lot of things. And at the end of the day, I want to let's go to like the final result. Yeah. So I think let me see where the final result. So the agents they communicate. Okay, so I just want us to see some few things. So now it's apart from searching where to go in there, it also gives you details. For instance, here it tells you that this temple is open from 7 to 7 p.m. So at 7 p.m. it gives you like if it's free, this museum cost. I think it's going to be correct. It said this Nicholas Tesla museum cost €5 is open from there. So you see, normally if you want to travel, you need to do all these things yourself. Now it gives you details about the hotel. So it recommends like, okay, these are some hotels. It's average of €60 per night and things like that. And then it also tells you, okay, these are some restaurants you go to. I hope some of this information are right though, because I've not been there before. So it checks also like some restaurants average you can spend in those restaurants. So some restaurants are expensive and things like that. So you just keep doing all this. I want to, yeah. So now it has all the agents are done, and then now it can give you details about what to do for each day you go to there. So it tells you on your first day, you arrive at the airport, you can go to this particular hotel if you want. So what I would have done previously if we had time was we can I can put human in the loop where I decide which hotel. So it gives me a list of hotel, I select the hotel and things like that. But now I just make it completely autonomous. So here, so it tells you, okay, you're going to visit this, you're going to stay at this hotel, and then it tells you like, okay, go for dinner in this place. Then the second day, it tells you to go to this park and in the city, and then in the afternoon go to this place, and then on the third day, on the fourth day, and things like that. So you have the whole details about it. So it also tells you details about okay, how much for breakfast in the accommodation and things like that, and the whole details like that. Okay, so this is how it works. Now we use OpenAI, but just to show you a bit of what can happen if you don't want to use OpenAI, for instance, you just want to use Llama to use like something like Llama free, because I know sometimes some of these things can be expensive. So what you need to do is here, you can just decide the model you want to use. So if you use Llama can give you access to, I mean, I would have loved to show us details about Llama and how we can use Llama, but that makes the whole tutorial longer. So here you can decide which LLM you want to use. And then in the agent, you can give each agent different LLM. So here you can just say, okay, LLM equals to LLM, which is just going to be, now we are not using OpenAI LLMs again. So you can just use Mistral LLM. And that's why my computer hanged, because I tried to run it using Llama and using Mistral. So you can decide any of the open source LLMs you want to use. So you can give each agent access to LLM. So by default, they use OpenAI OpenAI LLMs. So like maybe GPT-4 or GPT-4o, but you can also specify for each agent what LLM they should use. So, I mean, that's the whole detail about it, but I would like to answer more questions now. So do we have questions? So I would like to answer questions about what you have seen, if you understand, if there's something you don't understand, something I need to explain again, something you want to see again. I don't know if I just want to answer more questions. I'm sorry I couldn't run it step by step. I wish to run it step by step, but it's also going to take a whole lot of time because we have only 1 hour, 30 minutes, and it's a whole lot of things to deal with. But I'm going to push the code to GitHub in the next 30 minutes, but I also want us to understand everything we have done, and if we have more questions. So please, do we have questions, please? What part don't you understand? What part, what do you...
John, sorry, you can send the GitHub link to Yasmin and Maria.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll do that immediately after. But now I just want to see if they have any question, and yeah. So I just want to answer question. If so, from the beginning, some people don't have will you send a present? Yeah, I can send a presentation too. Yeah, I think the last part of the presentation is, is my screen working now? Let me see. Let me see if this thing is working now. My Chrome is still not working. I don't know why. My Chrome is still not working. Okay. I don't know. But yeah, I want to just answer questions. So I'm going to send a presentation also. So no problem. I'm going to send a presentation. But I don't know if you have any other questions before I stop sharing my screen so that I go to the last slide and then we can just wrap up. So does anyone have any question based on the code? I'm going to send the code, but I just want to know if you understand the code so that when you are going through the code, you have at least information about what the code is. Yeah, so I also just created, like, once the agent finished running, it's also saved the details into a file, which it can also save the details into like I don't know, a PDF file or whatever, but here I just save it into just a small file so that then you can see the output. So here we just have details about everything that happened, and here is just details about where to go and things to do each day and stuff like that. So do we have questions, please? Any questions? Just want to know if everyone is following. Do we have questions? Please, can you write on the chat if you have questions or you need something or you don't understand something? Any question? No question. If you wanted to see the URL reference from which the data is drawn, how will you do that? Okay. Yes, that's why I actually show you. I was showing you. I'm going to show you that, but I want to show you something. So here you see, I wrote this, this is true. So once you make this true, it gives you details about everything that's happening. And so this is an example. So you can, as I said, one thing about agents is that they give you plan of what they are doing, and then they showed you. So you can see here, this is one example of the URL it's used. I think that this is another example of the URL it's used. So you can see that in the log, what URL is getting the information from. So you can see that from the log. I'm not sure there's another URL. Oh, yeah. So for instance, this is one URL from Eden James in Belgrade. This is another URL in magazine. And yeah, this is another URL about top things to do in the city. So yeah, you can get the URL from the output. Okay. Do we have like more questions on the code or understanding the thing? So does everyone understand? So if you understand the difference between LLMs, RAG, retrieval augmented generation, and AI agent, can you please write yes on the chat? So we have 70 people in the chat, and at least let's see if we can get 50% to tell us if they got it. If they got it. Okay, so someone asked why, so I don't know if the person wanted to ask a question. Oh, yes, okay, why is just yes, okay. Okay, so how many minutes do we have left? So we have 1 minute, maybe 2 minutes left. So
Yeah, like 2 or 3 minutes.
yeah, 2 or 3 minutes left. Okay, so only 5 people answered though, but I wish I had more response on it. Yeah, so I'm going to get the code and to GitHub in the next like 10 minutes. And so please, can you which should I send it to? You say I should send it to, can you maybe send me
Yasmin and Maria, I think you already talked to them.
okay, on the email, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to send the email. Okay, no problem. I'm going to send the email to the code.
Or you can send them GitHub link. It's okay.
Yeah, I'll send the GitHub link. Yeah.
And they will share to the participants of this webinar.
Okay, no problem. So I'm going to share the GitHub link. Maybe can you let me stop sharing? I just have one slide more, but the slide is not really just one slide more. The slide is just to tell you, like as I said, I'm building what I call Don't Fear AI. But then, so I also want people to understand that though everything you see works sometimes, but it does not work every time. So I just wanted to share the limitation and the risk of using these things. Please, can you share the screen and just share the last, I think it's second to the last slide.
Okay.
Just like second to the last slide. So it's just about the, yeah, after the coding, yeah. So after this, the next slide. Yeah, exactly. So these are the limitations and you have the risks. So one problem you have sometimes is that it doesn't plan it well. So for this example that I showed you, so you can see that it's planned everything well, and then it could like go online, get the details and stuff like that. Sometimes you have a problem where it didn't plan it well, it's not reasoning well and stuff like that. So you have this problem. The other problem you have is the problem where it goes online, check for something, did not get the right thing, keeps going online, trying to check for something. And then, for instance, you ask for some information that it couldn't get online. And it keeps going through that loop, trying to get something and it couldn't get it. The other problem you have is that now we only have 3 agents, but then if you have a lot of agents, then it becomes a bit of problem because each of these agents depend on each other. They are waiting for each other to get information and things like that. So sometimes it becomes a lot of problem. Then the other problem you have is like, you can see from the example that I showed you, every detail was written in the prompt. So the prompt must be well written. So you have, okay, I need to check details about the city and things like that. So you need to really write good prompts. And this can be a problem. The other problem I didn't write here is if you use entropy computer use, it also controls your computer. So you have issues with security and things like that. So these are the problems that we have. Can you go to the last slide? I think that's just the last slide. Yeah. So we already asked that question, and maybe the last one, which is just the end of the slide. So thank you so much, everyone, for attending my seminar. I'm going to share the link to the GitHub immediately before 12. You are going to get the link to the GitHub. and then also the link to the presentation. I think we already have that. But yeah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.